God's bailout plan, it provides free consultation. God is not like lawyers that want $100 an hour for consultation. God says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall build upon his shoulder, and he shall be called Wonderful Counselor and Mighty God. And you know what? We don't understand the benefit of having a free counselor. The fact that we have a free counselor keeps us sane when we ought to be crazy. I'm going on. God's bailout plan, second of all, I like this point. It provides long-term stability and peace. Will you look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, God's bailout plan provides long-term stability and peace. Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, here I am, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Oh, God says in the text, my bailout will free the people from their enemies, and it will also fulfill the promise made to David. Now, we heard in the prayer, Reverend Gales prayed to us, and many of us don't realize the promises that God made to us, God will bring them to pass. The promise started with Abraham. Then the promise went on to David. And now God is saying to them through Isaiah, I know the promise I made to you. Just hold fast to my promise. It's going to come to pass after a while. And then when you look in Matthew, you find a little lad by the name of Jesus that was born to Mary, and you find the promise start to come forth. In other words, we got to learn in the midst of trials and tribulation, we got to be able to sing that wonderful hymn of the church, I'm standing on the promises of God. May not understand what God is doing, may not look like my promise is going to come to pass, but I'm standing on the promises of God. And the fact of the matter, we got too many shaky Christians that get blown and shaken by every wind that blows their way. But you got to learn how to say, I have been planted firm in this place, and I'm not going to move till God says so. And you got to learn how to sing. If you have to sing it by yourself, I'm standing on the promises of God. Devil, do what you want to do. Enemy, do what you want to do. But I'm standing on the promises of God. Do I have anybody that can help me shout right here in point number 2 that can declare, I'm standing on the promises of God? God is fulfilling the promise that he made to David. You know, the mentioning of the Prince of Peace, it literally refers to the messianic title in Judaism and early Christianity. As a king, hear me now, Jesus commands peace. Not only does Jesus command peace, but as a Prince of Peace, Jesus also creates peace inside of his kingdom. That's a dichotomy of sort. If Jesus is the Prince of Peace and he commands peace and creates peace, then why is the church always so confused? I know that's pricking your brain right now, but let me come back, rewind, I'll help you to fill it out. He's the Prince of Peace, which means he creates peace. He commands peace in his kingdom. Could it be that we don't have peace sometime in the life of the church because we letting the wrong one lead us? Because when Jesus leads us, according to the text, he is the Prince of Peace. I've always preached a transparent gospel. Don't follow me, you better follow Jesus. I'm subject to take a U-turn on this journey. I'm subject to deviate to the left and right. You better not get your eyes on me because you might get ran off the road. You better fix your eyes on Jesus and fix your eyes on things eternal and hold to God's unchanging hand. Your neighbor didn't catch that. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you ain't following the preacher. You following Jesus. And when you follow Jesus, he'll give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Do I have a witness in here of anybody that's grateful that Jesus can give me peace? Can I tell you something about peace? Peace will help you sleep when you ain't got nothing to sleep about. Peace will will help you come to church and you ain't got nothing to shout about. Peace will make you lift up holy hand and it ain't nothing coming down into your hands. But when you got peace, I told him this morning, I'd rather have peace than $1 million. Because I can have $1 million and still be confused and chaotic and crazy. Do I have any company in here that rather have peace would let me walk and let me go to places God has designed for me? I'd rather have peace. Peace will let you go to work and the folk that you work with don't like you. But peace will make you walk in and look at that coworker that's frowning at you. Peace will make you say to them, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I'm going to rejoice and be glad in it. Peace will make you tell your coworker, I'm blessed of the Lord, and I'm highly favored, and it ain't nothing you can do about it. Do I have anybody that's grateful that every now and then God gives you peace in the midst of chaos, in the midst of confusion? God is able to give you peace. You know, I shared with the church at 9:30, and this has come from my African-American perspective of preaching. I was dealing with this Congress stuff at the beginning in the introduction of this sermon, and I got a major problem with our Congress because they didn't start all this budget talk till a black man got in. I want to know what happened to the 42 presidents and 43 that came before this one. If they were so critical on budget talk, then Bush wouldn't have killed this country. Y'all ain't got to say amen. I'm preaching from myself right now. They ought to have been having debt ceiling and budget committee meeting when he was fighting war that he didn't have money to pay for, and people walking the streets of New Jersey hungry. But thank God he's still giving us peace. It ain't about Republican or Democrat. It's just about doing what's right in the eyesight of God. I love God's Bailout plan. It gives long-term stability and peace. His Bailout plan doesn't have to be renewed yearly, but it's long-term stability. Stable in a messed up economy. That's what God's Bailout plan will do. It will give you long-term stability. And on top of it, it'll give you peace, even in a confused generation. I love God's Bailout plan. I'm cutting across the field. I'm going home now. But God's Bailout plan provides long-term stability and peace. It provides free consultation. But third of all, it provides fairness. Can the church shout fairness? Look at your neighbor and recite the points to him. Say, neighbor, God's Bailout plan provides free consultation. It provides long-term stability and peace. But it also provides fairness. Where's the fairness in the text? He will reign on David's throne, I'm in the 7th verse, B clause, and over his kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness from that time on and forever. You notice I've been messed up with CNN, watching it. I'm going to preach CNN, then I'm going to close the sermon and give you the Bible at the end. But I've been watching CNN. Y'all seen this new movement called Occupy? You know, their whole thesis and their whole subject and their whole creation, the reason they were created is for fairness. In other words, they're saying to Wall Street, it's not fair for you to get all the money and the people that work harder than you don't get a dime for what they do on their jobs. And so they're saying we're going to occupy until fairness is spread across the board. In other words, you know, I was watching the other day. Let me tell you something that blew my mind, and I'm finished, I promise. It blew my mind. I was watching the Fannie Mae executives in front of the Senate and Congress. And this brother was up there, this brother whose skin has not been darkened by Mother Nature's son, of the Caucasian persuasion, you know, European brother. He was up there, and they asked him, how much money did you make this year? Do you know what he said? I don't know. And the senator said to him, in our equation, it says you made $38 million in 2011. And you don't know how much money you made? You know that couldn't have been me. I'd have been like, I'm still counting how much I made. Because we didn't go to the millions when I was going through high school and middle school. They just got us to the thousands, and so I would still be counting. But that's not fairness for him to have 38 million and the folk that's walking the street and living in these homes, which they have squandered their worth and their living, are living like flowery beds of ease. God says in the text, I will turn your distress into joy. That's, somebody shout, that's fairness. And I watched the brother. I said to my wife, man, he can't be serious. But he had a serious look on his face. And I told her, he's right. He don't know when you've stolen that much money. You done forgot where you hid it at. And you can't add up how much it is. But God is so fair. Guess what? Can I preach the Bible? You shall reap what you have sown. You got millionaires that's killing themselves and running themselves in front of vehicles because they have not been fair to the people that work for them. And God said, I am tired of people taking advantage of my children, and I'm going to turn this thing around. I'm going home now. But is there anybody that's glad that God is a fair and just and righteous God? And if you keep working, God will reward you in due season. Do I have a witness in here that's mighty glad that you serve a fair God? That if you ask, ye shall have. If you knock, the door shall be open. I dare you to start thanking God for the season God is about to let you walk in. Start thanking God for the doors he's getting ready to open in your life. Do I have a witness in here that feel like I feel? Do I have a witness in here that feel like I feel? That God is getting ready to do a new thing in your life. And I ain't got to wait till 2012, but I can shout right now.